Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of scatterplots. This is standard 8.11a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 17 off the 2021 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So a math teacher observed that as the number of hours that students stated the multiplication facts increased, so number of hours, let's translate that as the number of hours, let's see if I can spell that correctly, increased, so I'm going to make that a positive. The number of errors the students made on their multiplication tests decreased. All right, so the number of errors decreased. I'm going to make that a negative. All right, so which scatterplot would support this? Well, where do we have the number of hours? It looks like on all of these, we've got our steady time number of hours. That's our x. All right, so as our x increases, gets bigger, the number of errors is going to be our y-axis. All right, so then our y-axis is going to decrease. So which scatterplot best represents that? Well, we need to find a trend line. That's what we're looking for here. So a trend line is not necessarily a linear equation, but a line that we can draw that kind of captures most of the data. Is there a pattern? So take a look at A. So I definitely see a pattern. We could draw a line that connects most of this data or falls in between this data right here. Okay, so it kind of starts at 0. So the number of hours, as the number of hours increases, right? As it goes from 0 to 5, look what happens to the number of errors. Unfortunately, the number of errors also increases, doesn't it? So the more you study, the worse you do. The more you study, the more mistakes you make. That doesn't make any sense. So it's not going to be A, but there definitely is a trend there. Now look at B. Does kind of have a little relationship. You almost see an arch here, right? So it kind of peaks right here. So this is not a linear relationship, but there is a relationship here. You can almost see a little bit of a graph here. And it's kind of strange because as the number of hours increases, the number of errors increases until you get to about 2.5. Then it actually starts to go down, right? Starts to go down, and the number of hours increases means the number of errors decreases, but we want it for the entire thing. So this is not a linear relationship because it's curved, so we're definitely not going to choose B either. Now look at C. C is a classic example of no association because these dots are everywhere. There is no line that you can draw that is going to be straight or even curved. This looks more like a connect the dots than it does an actual scatter plot that has an association. There's no organization there. So as you can see, sometimes these kids are having low steady time, high errors, and then sometimes having low steady time, really low errors. Makes no sense. So let's look at D. Definitely see a pattern. It is moving down. Take a look at this. Number of hours, it is increasing from right to left. It's from left to right. That's what we're always going, left to right. So as the number of steady time increases, the number of errors decreases. Starts high because I haven't studied enough. The more I study, the fewer my errors. Until finally, we get one right down there. Big steady time, 0 errors. That makes sense. Our answer is D.